your girl, Jazz.
Hey, I Fight the Heat listeners. This is Shelly Shell.
Yes.
First time with I Fight the Heat.
Yep, we are here with you with just topics that's circulating the world right now. And our show today is going to be about the Oscars. What do you think, Shelly Shell?
I think that there is so much controversy going on with the Oscars right now. Should African Americans attend? Should they listen to the event? Should Chris Rock commentate the event? I don't know. There's so much going on with it. I think it's a worthy topic for us to dig into today.
Absolutely. We can just jump right into it right now. The Oscars actually started May 16th, 1929. And you have to think, there weren't that many African Americans that were acting at the time. But in today's time, it's much different. Much. We are in 2016. What did I say? The Oscars started May 16th, 1929. Now it is 2016. We have so many African American people that are acting and that's great at it and has excelled. So the big controversy this year is the fact that there are no African Americans that's going to be nominated or that's able to win any Oscars. And this all started because of Jada Pinkett. She had a hand in it because her husband, Will Smith, will not be nominated for his big role in Concussion, that's correct. And, she had a big hand in saying that we should boycott the Oscars for, not having any of us in the show. Or the awards. And so I tend to agree with Jada Pinkett. Now, another thing about what she said is, and that someone made knowledge of, is that, she's fighting her husband's fight. He should speak for himself. But, if she's passionate about if her husband is not being nominated, she can say what she want to say. Now, does that mean that we all have to follow suit and not watch the Oscars because she says so? Absolutely not. But she's passionate about how she feels. And that him not being nominated, she's pissed off. And I would be too. But more so, I'm upset because African Americans are not even included. So what do you think?
Well, I think the reason why African Americans are not included in the Oscars this time is simply due to the fact that none of them have been nominated. And when you think of that word African Americans, they are a group of minorities. Mm-hmm. We've always been a group of minorities.
Right.
So because they are minorities, there are not that many roles in Hollywood for African American actors and actresses. So because of that fact, we're not going to be nominated. And even some of the roles in which African Americans play, it could be a supporting role, it could be a director. If there are not that many, you can't just select them because you say, okay, here's one black person who directed a movie. So because I have 5 white people and 1 black person, I'm going to nominate the black person so that I can have a representation of the African American population.
I agree, but I think I disagree in a way because I feel like there's so many of us that have done so many movies. It's not like it's just one. We should have been nominated for something, not because you feel sorry for us or, we just don't see one fit. I'm thinking Will Smith did an amazing job in Concussion. So he should have been at least nominated. If not that movie, I am so certain there's many other movies that we were in that could have been nominated for something. But because sometimes this world seems as if is more, I don't know what to use, acceptable to just white people?
Well, it's not that it's acceptable to just white people. I think because there are not enough of us, that's why our voice is not strong enough. If there were enough of African Americans and they pulled together, and let me just back up for a minute. There are enough of African Americans. The problem is we don't come together as a united group to say, okay, we're tired of these things taking place. If all of the African Americans came together and said, okay, we're going to boycott the Oscars, we're not going to watch it, we're not going to attend, that gives us strength, that gives us power. However, because we're so divided in our beliefs, some feel that, you know what, we're so tired of this black power thing. We're so tired of being excluded. Now that we can be included and we can go to the Oscars and be guests and not go to the Oscars as a servant or a person who's working behind the scenes, I'm going. This is one of the most coveted awards in the world. And the fact that I can sit in the audience among my white counterparts and attend, that's a privilege in itself. So, and then you have those black people or those African Americans, I stand corrected, who say because there's not a representation as far as a black person being nominated, then we're just not going. To me, I just don't understand that, because at some jobs, there is not a black or African American representative. You know, some places in the world, there are not black people. Does that mean every place in the world and every issue that doesn't have an African American, we should take it up? And then the Oscars, it's not even that big of a deal. How many people really truly watch the Oscars anyway?
That's true.
If we're going to take up an issue and say, this is our African American issue and we're going to take a stand on it, let it be an issue that's really going to impact the nation and matter.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I also feel like this is a major fight for us. Now, I agree with what you said as far as we don't come together and we don't have a strong enough voice because, you know, so we're so divided, or because we're so for ourselves and what we're doing. We don't try to fight the big fight to support each other. But I mean, if we did, this should matter to all of us, because we have been excluded from the Oscars, and that's unfair. And I mean, I agree with Jada Pinkett Smith, because it's not fair at all. But I also say, if we're not going to watch the Oscars, which I say most of us don't even watch anyway. I mean, I've never watched it. I don't really give a damn about the show. Just to be honest, I don't care. But, you know, if you're so passionate about us, the movies that we've completed and we did our best at, we should create something of our own. Which leads into another great topic. Because of Jada Pinkett Smith making her comments about we should boycott the Oscars, then who comes out the woodworks? Stacey Dash, somebody who has been out of the public eye for I don't know how many years now. But for those of you that don't know who Stacey Dash is an actress. And she was born in 1967 from Bronx, New York, represent. And, you know, she's an okay actress. Like, she's a B-C kind of actress. She's not like Jada Pinkett Smith or, you know, a lot of other people out here. But she made some comments, which we are getting ready to play now. And you tell me what you think.
I think it's ludicrous.
Why?
Because we have to make up our minds. Either we want to have segregation or integration. And if we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET and the BET Awards and the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're black. If it were the other way around, we would be up in arms. It's a double standard.
So you say there shouldn't be a BET channel?
No, I don't think so, no. Just like there shouldn't be a Black History Month. You know, we're Americans, period. That's it.
Are you saying there shouldn't be a Black History Month because there isn't a White History Month?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I think that Stacey Dash is really trying to seek attention for herself. Because Stacey Dash is known for sexier roles. She's not known for drama. She's not known for leading roles or even supporting roles. Now, maybe in Clueless, you can say she had a supporting role because she was among the girl group in Clueless. But right now, I think because she's getting older, she really hasn't done anything that's so monumental. I have to make a name for myself, so let me come up with this concoction, or let me come up with this ideation that black people, shouldn't have BET, or black people, we should just go to the Oscars and we should be happy with the Oscars as is. Jada Pinkett Smith, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And Stacey Dash is really a person who's seeking that 15 minutes of fame, trying to make herself relevant. I can't really say anything negative about her as a person because I don't know her personally, but based upon her actions, it seems like she's just trying to seek attention. She's trying to, like you see her on the news, and now people are calling her. She wasn't getting calls before, but guess what? Now her phone is blowing up. But, there should be another way to go about making yourself relevant. Take on a cause. Be a humanitarian. Be a philanthropist. Be somebody who's really doing something good for people to make a name for yourself. Go into some of these communities where they have at-risk youth, and build programs to help incite and inspire them to become successful adults, successful entrepreneurs. Go into a community that has girls who think that all they have is their body to make money. Help these girls get in school and get an education. If you need relevancy, do something to make yourself relevant. Don't speak out against your people. Join Oprah Winfrey and go to Africa and help these young girls, with their education. Go to school and become a doctor and learn how to help those who are sick, or become a scientist and find a cure for cancer and some of these other diseases. To me, that's relevance. But just to say your own personal bias, even Jada Pinkett, now she's guilty of that as well. She's also seeking attention because the fact that Will Smith, he was okay with the fact that he didn't get nominated for Concussion. And he's an okay actor. I mean, he's done great work. But if he didn't say anything, then why is Jada taking on his cause? Again, another person who's trying to seek relevancy.
But I mean, she's upset about her husband.
Tell him in the bedroom, baby, you know what? That should have been yours. You should have gotten nominated. How dare they not nominate you? But baby, I got your back. You my man. Well, you my best actor.
She wanted the world to know she was highly upset with the Oscar awards, and I agree with her. Because I would have done the same thing. Now, like I said, I'm not one, nor is Jada Pinkett Smith the one to say, hey, we're going to speak for all African Americans. Y'all follow me, because I'm going to leave you out. No, I'm not saying that. But if we decide to listen to what she has to say, we go ahead and make our own opinion and do what we feel is right. And I think what's right, just personally, you don't have to agree with me, but what's personally is that, hey, we do boycott the Oscars. But with Stacey Dash saying we shouldn't have a BET and we should not have a Black History Month. Okay, how dumb is that crap? Because my whole thing is, okay, there are other award shows that are for certain areas of achievement. Okay, you have the Kids' Choice Awards. You have MTV Awards. You have Country Music Awards. You have MTV Movie Awards. You have Daytime Emmy Awards. We have so many different kind of award programs. We can't lump them all into one because they will never get out of that awards. You'll be there for a month, going ahead and giving people awards for everything that they've done in the world because they've been on TV, movies, sports, what have you. So there's always going to be a breakdown of some kind of awards. And the fact that Stacey Dash says we should not have a Black History Month, do I really need to address how wrong she is?
I don't even think she heard herself when she said it. Because if you think about it, every month there is some type of, I don't know, just like George Washington's birthday. Okay, he's white. President's Day. Okay, we only have one Black president, so do we not celebrate President's Day because there's only one Black president?
Just for the 8 years?
Can
we go back next year?
Exactly. So to me that doesn't make sense. I mean, Jesus Christ is white. Some people may think he's black, but do we say we don't celebrate Christmas because Jesus Christ is white?
Right. So, I mean, the whole thing is, Stacey Dash has a lot of nerve, but we've already, take notice that she's just in it for her 15 minutes of fame because she has not been in the public eye. She hasn't been in any movies. She hasn't really done much. And what you said, for her to do something useful and something that is going to uplift people, she's not going to do that because that's not going to give her national attention. So she's more about herself.
Angelina Jolie is a philanthropist. She's known around the world for her fights for kids, for human rights.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if BET offered Stacey Dash employment, she would take it.
Okay, no, before you even start that, that's another thing that people have been tripping over. She has been in plenty of BET movies and shows. So for her to slap them in the face and say, this shouldn't be a BET. Well, BET actually sent a tweet back to her saying, well, can we get our money back for the stuff you've done? That is so funny to me.
I know. Can we take our money back? But I wrote down, Jazz, 5 reasons why I felt like African Americans should attend the Oscars as well as tune in. And one of the main reasons is I think we need to move away from this separation stuff. Every time something happens in this country, the first thing we want to do is separate ourselves from it. Gabrielle Union made a profound statement when she said we need to be more concerned with inclusion than exclusion. So if there's things that we as a people can be included in, then certainly we should participate and we should become a part of it. And again, I want to expand upon that fact that we are a minority. So because we are a minority, our numbers are always going to be small. Our representation is always going to be small because we are in small numbers. And then you have to think about the fact that they're professionals. We're professionals. Professionals carry themselves and they conduct themselves in a certain manner. And color shouldn't always matter. We shouldn't always jump on that color bandwagon when things don't go our way. Every time something happens, it's because I'm black. No, sometimes it may be that you didn't get that job because you weren't the best qualified candidate. Maybe you didn't receive nomination because you weren't the best actor or actress in that category. That could be possible. But the first thing we want to say is it's because we're black. And then the fourth thing I want to say why we should tune in, and those who can go to the Oscars, they should, because they should support Chris Rock. Chris Rock, this is his second opportunity to be the host for the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Why put pressure on this man? He has a job. We should support him. There is our representation right there. We should support this man as he does a phenomenal job representing our people. We need to support him. Do you want that man standing on stage before an all-white audience? Let him see a little bit of specks out there so he can say, hey, there go my people. And then the other reason is, why nominate us if we're not going to attend? If we take this stand and we say, okay, we're not going to the Oscars, well, guess what? The Oscars should not nominate us because we're not going to attend. We're not going to show up. We're not going to participate.
But I think the only reason why we're not going to show up and we're not going to participate is because of what's happening right now.
So it's good as long as I'm getting some. But if I'm not getting some, it's not good.
No, it's not good, period, if none of us are nominated at all. So it's almost a slap in the face like black people ain't no good for nothing. Because it's kind of like saying, okay, no black person in this world, not only America, has done any kind of acting at all for the year of 2015. So, you know what? We're not going to nominate anybody because no one's acted, nor no one has done anything that is deserving of an award. But my whole thing against the award show, I believe we shouldn't watch it. I believe that we need to create our own. I believe that we need to work harder together and join together so we can have our own. And color does matter to me because there's so much police brutality and so much fighting against us, and we haven't even done anything wrong. Now I can see if we were all just the bad, and how they put it, black is bad, and dark is horrible. If that was the case and we were actually really bad people, okay, I can understand that, but that's not the case. So color does matter, and I feel that we must fight. We must fight to stay together and stay strong. And we're not going to let people take us to a place like back in the slavery days. I mean, although it's not going to happen again, slavery, but they trying to create some form of slavery by doing different things in 2016. I feel that we should go to college. I feel that we should go ahead and better ourselves so they cannot hold us back. So
yeah, but there's a much bigger picture than just that person being on stage getting nominated. We have
That's
to also
right.
think about those who are African Americans that are working the night of the Oscars. What if they say, okay, well, African Americans want to take this stand? Okay, we're not going to have African Americans have any dealings with the Oscars at all. So that means that the person who is dressing, the black person who's dressing the white star to attend the event, she lost that contract. The person who is working in the back, helping with the camera crew or helping set the stage up, they lost that job. What about the person who's ushering people in so they can be seated at their table? They lost that job.
Well, I'm not saying for them to leave their job or for Chris Rock to leave his job. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for me, I will not be supporting people that don't support us. Not necessarily me, because I have not done any acting, but us. As a people, we should be nominated for something because we have done so much. We have achieved so much. We have overcome so much. When they talk about like the Holocaust and that type of situation happening, but then they want to taboo on slavery. They don't really want to go ahead and talk about the dirt that was done to African Americans. They really don't even want to put it in history books. I mean, in Texas, they want to pull that kind of history out of their textbooks. And our kids need to know what happened to us. Now, I don't know if all parents are going to if they do pull that kind of history out of the textbooks in Texas and it goes across the U.S., I don't know if all parents are going to say, hey, we used to be slaves. I know I'm letting my children know what the world was like so they can better themselves. But this all needs to be nipped in the bud right now. I mean, we need justice. We need to be recognized. And I'm not saying we need to be recognized with the Oscars. We can be recognized with, hey, we should start the Denzel Award. I think that sounds wonderful. Doesn't that sound great? The Denzel Award. That's what it should be called, and it should start maybe the middle of 2016 if someone pulls that off, or 2017, and that'll be the first award.
Would we have Caucasians in different award categories nominated?
Yes. And I'm not saying we have to go ahead and go tit for tat and say, hey, the Denzel Award is going to be only people of color. Now, African Americans, all people of color. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it can be, we can have a couple of Caucasian people being nominated as well. Not a problem with that. I'm not saying go tit for tat, but I say we need to be recognized in some kind of fashion, and we can have our own. We can break out into our own instead of saying, hey, we need the Oscars in order to feel better about ourselves, because we do not need the Oscars.
But Jazz, what if when they looked at all of the categories and all of the actors and actresses, and there truly wasn't an African American person that they could nominate?
That wasn't the case.
Okay.
That wasn't the case. That I don't feel that was the case, and I think a whole lot of people would agree with me that that's not the case. Now, if it was that none of us lifted ourselves out the bed to go ahead and even work that entire year, and we had the gall to say, oh, how can you not nominate us? Then that would be wrong. But for us to get our black behinds out the bed and do our jobs, and I'm talking about actors and actresses and people in that kind of field, for them not to be nominated in this country is just a slap in the face because we've done so much work. My thing is they don't mind taking our money. They don't mind taking our money. Well, how is it they don't want to recognize the great work that we do?
Well, I mean, I still think there should be another forum that we can make our stand, a bigger forum, because to be truthfully honest, I would love to know what the statistics are as far as who watches the Oscars.
I would love to know.
Because I don't really think that many people watch the Oscars where it's that serious. I think the Oscars is more of a coveted award, more so than an award show that everyone feels like they have to watch. Because the Oscars have always been associated with Caucasian people. So people really don't want to tune in to see a bunch of white people all dressed up in their fancy designer clothes. You know, I think you have award shows according to the group of people. Just like the BET Awards, they have their own television show, BET. So they have their own awards, and that's going to be geared towards who? More African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you have the MTV Awards. That's going to be geared towards what type of people? People who love music, people who like rock music, people
Right.
who like country music. You know, because the genre is all different types of music.
Right.
But guess what? There are some people who don't like music, so they're not going to listen to the MTV Awards show.
But
And then country music. Everyone doesn't like country music, and they're not going to tune into the Country Music Awards. Does anyone ever say, you know what? There are black people who sing country music. Why is it that we never see a black person win a country music award?
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay, Hootie and the Blowfish. But that's my point. My point is each award show is catered to a certain group of individuals.
Right.
And the Oscars is not catered to African Americans. There are other award shows that are a little bit more diverse.
Right. So I agree with Janet Herbert when she made the comment about Stacey Dash saying someone needs to slap a little bit of black off of her. I do agree. I think that is so funny. But, you know, she's always been, I'm not going to say a Black Panther, but, you know, she always represented, you know, African-American people well. So, you know, bravo to her for speaking out about that topic. But
Yeah, but I don't like the way she did it because we don't always have to resort to verbal violence when someone says or does something that we don't agree with.
she doesn't mean it like that. But the way she worded it was sweet. It was just perfect.
I mean, she could have said the same thing Gabrielle Union said. Stacey Dash, who is that? Who is Stacey Dash? And does she represent all of African Americans? You know, you don't have to resort to verbal violence against a person because they make an unkind statement. You know, and we as African Americans, we can't all jump on that bandwagon of beating each other up too. You know, someone needs to have some dialogue with Stacey Dash, obviously,
Yes.
and say, you know, girl, what you thinking?
Yeah, but it's not going to matter because we can talk until we're blue in our face. It doesn't matter. It's about her 15 minutes of fame because she really has not been working where we have seen her and can recognize her great work. And like you mentioned earlier, she's not known for drama roles or anything major for Oscar-winning kind of productions. No, she's known for like little silly roles or little easy roles like the CSI. Not saying that's a silly role. What I'm saying is, you know, she's known for doing.
She's more sexy.
She's more sexy, but she's done, you know, TV shows and she's done little silly movies like Clueless. Okay, that was cute back then. So now she needs some kind of appearance back into the public eye, and what better way than to go ahead and slap her own people in the face by saying we don't need Black History Month, and hey, let's not divide our people by having different award shows. Did she say, and she said, let me say what she said. She said not to have a Black History Month. She said not to have BET. Did she say not to have country music awards? No, she did not. Did she say not to have the Oscars? Did she say not to have the Christian Music Awards? No, she did not. She said only the Black Awards and the Black History Month. And that is the only thing I can think of.
Black people have made Stacey Dash popular.
This the only thing I can think of is that she is trying to be recognized for something and get those coins. Because she don't believe what she's saying. Even her own cousin, Damon Dash, was on a YouTube podcast. And he's not going to down his cousin. He doesn't agree with his cousin. But he's saying she's doing some coonery kind of thing right now just to collect her coins. She really doesn't believe what she's saying, but he stated that she's always been that controversial kind of person anyway. Right. So, of course, like, as time goes on, next year, the year after, she decides that she's not really doing any acting and she needs more coins. She's going to say something else, and then she's going to get all our feathers ruffled again. She's going to say something crazy. So what I'm saying right now is don't let it bother you. She doesn't believe what she's saying, and if she did, who is she to go ahead and dictate what should be in your life? She's nobody, so it doesn't matter. People have their own opinions. There's the KKK. They don't believe that Black people are good people and that we're evil and they hate us and, you know, we can do great things. They just hate us because of the color of our skin. We can't change their mind. And so what I'm saying is you can't change Stacey Dash's mind.
You can. You have to think about one of the things that the United States of America was founded upon, and that's freedoms. And people have freedom of speech. So if somebody is exerting their freedom of speech to say how they feel about a certain matter, we can exert our freedom of speech to say how we feel in regards to what they said. However, freedom of speech doesn't necessarily mean you tear down the person. You may not like the idea or the thought or the mindset that that individual has. So I Fight the Heat viewers, it's up to you guys to decide your stand on whether or not you're going to listen to the Oscars. I Fight the Heat celebrities who are listening, if you want to attend the Oscars, that's totally up to you. You have to make your own mind up. You have to make your own decision. But gather all of the facts, research the data. African Americans have won Oscar awards, and we should support Chris Rock. That's my own personal viewpoint. I think we should go and we should watch because there are people who are working behind the scenes who are African Americans. We don't want our Caucasian counterparts to think that we're so against the Oscars where we cost these people their jobs because now they'll say, well, let's just not have any African Americans at all. You know, so it's an individual decision, and I think that's what needs to be made. I really do.
I don't think we would cost the people their jobs or anything. I just think that, and what you just said, I think we should go ahead and support Chris Rock's decision to host the show. That's his decision to make, and none of ours to make for him. And you have these group of people in his ear saying, do it, do it, do it. You have another group saying, don't do it. He still needs to feed his family, regardless of what it is. Unless they are hurting him or his family, I say go ahead and do it. For me personally, I feel that there's so many great African American people out there, actors, actresses, directors, Spike Lee. There's so many of us that's doing great things in this world, America, across the waters. We need to be recognized for it. And if not through the Oscars, the Denzel Award, I think, will come into play in 2017.
Denzel Washington.
You hear me, right, Denzel?
Denzel, we have a shout out to you. The Denzel Washington Award Show. It's So African Americans, Latinos, Caucasians, Asians, whatever your culture is, come on, bring your talent, submit your nominees today.
That's right. That's right. And just some knowledge for, the Oscars. The very first Black African American winner for an Oscar was Haiti McDaniel. She was in
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. That's correct.
Yes.
And she received supporting role. So I am really proud to say that she was the very first African American that has won an Oscar, and that was in 1939.
Yeah.
So
She was the first African American person to be nominated for acting, the first African American actress to win Best Supporting Actress, and the oldest African American actress to win an Academy Award at the age of 44. She played Mamie. We don't like seeing Mamie on the Mrs. Butterworth
No.
because we think that's condescending, but
Right.
we do applaud the fact that the first African American did a great job as a supporting actress in Gone with the Wind. And if any of you have had a chance to see it, you can agree to that. And if you have not seen it, it's a great old movie to really watch. It's long, but it's a great movie to watch.
Right. So there we have it. That's our views about the Oscars. Shelly Shell is for it.
Shelly Shell, go watch, support.
And Jazz, I am not for it at all. Now, I support Chris Rock all the way. Go ahead and do your thing, make your coins, support your family, but I will not be watching. I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith, and we need to create our own. So, there you have it. That's I-5 the Heat.
I-5 the Heat.
Holla.
Who's Stacey Dash? Is she related to Dame Dash? Was she on Rockefeller?
Yeah, I also think
She did speak about Manning BET and Black.
I heard of a crazy lady once, maybe last week, but I don't know what her name is. It's like why there's a need for the Birth of a Nation and why there's a need for the Country Music Awards and the Alma Awards. If you don't see yourself reflected in mainstream awards, you tend to create your own. And until there's no longer a need for that, I celebrate the Almas in the same way I celebrate the Country Music Awards, and the same way I celebrate the BET Awards and the Image Awards, which we'll all be at in a couple weeks. The more that we focus on inclusion and a true representation of this country, I think that crazy lady will have less to say.